Caitlin Clark said, "No layups in my house," and sent Angel Reese flying like it was a Southwest commercial. That flop had Academy Award winner written all over it. But the refs really looked at that and said, "Yep, that's definitely murder," and gave Caitlin a flagrant like she pulled a knife out mid-play. And Angel tried to run up on her and said, "You're crazy as fuck. What the fuck are you doing?" And Caitlin's all like, "This is just basketball. It's either a layup or free throws. Pick one."
It's just a good take foul, you know? If either Angel gets wide open 2 points or, we send him to the free throw line. Nothing malicious about it. It's just a good take foul. Every basketball player knows that.
And just like that, Caitlin Clark dropped a triple-double, won by 35.
Angel Reese got benched right there on live TV. And no, this wasn't your typical rest the starters kind of move. This was the kind of benching that makes you do a double take at the coach like, "Wait, for real?" But Angel? She didn't sulk. She flipped the script and went full savage. Her comeback left reporters stunned, fans gasping, and even the Gatorade bottles looking uneasy. It wasn't just a response, it was a glittering MIC drop loaded with attitude. What she did next? You're not ready. Buckle up.
Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever is currently putting the beats on the Chicago sky, and I'm telling you right now, Angel Reese is furious because she wants to make it her business to beat Caitlin Clark this year, and I'm telling you right now,
Angel Reese got benched right there on live TV. And no, this wasn't just a small lineup shuffle or a clever coaching tactic. This was the basketball version of being sent to the corner to reflect on your life choices. But let's not kid ourselves. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill bench moment. It turned into a full-on public spectacle, unfolding with the kind of poetic drama you'd swear was scripted by the basketball gods themselves, who, by the way, were probably sipping tea and watching ESPN like it was an episode of Real Housewives, NCAA edition.
Black and White Sports Supporters, well, I told you guys there would be a follow-up video on the nuclear fallout. That's exactly what it's been. Over the take foul, as Caitlin Clark is calling it, and that's a great way to say it. It was a take foul. She was trying to prevent a wide-open layup, although one could argue that she might have missed it anyway, on Angel Reese, and then Angel Reese went absolutely, utterly berserk.
So, what led to the downfall of Queen Ree? Just a little thing called pure, unfiltered rage, let loose like a Marvel villain gone rogue without a script. The trigger? Caitlin Clark. Yep, that Caitlin Clark. The one whose three-point shots feel like they are launched from deep space. She committed a foul. Not a technical, not a flagrant, just your standard, everyday whistle. You know, the kind that pops off about 16 times a quarter when everyone's feet are burning and elbows are flying like ingredients in a blender.
You got this little white girl and Caitlin Clark out here busting that flat out, bro. Triple dub. And I don't want to hear none of that stat padding stuff, bro. She had a triple double, and that's just the facts, man. That's just the facts. So I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, she fouled her hard, bro. It was a malicious play." Man, that wasn't no malicious play. This is a malicious play. Check it out. What y'all gonna say?
But Angel Reese? She didn't just respond. She exploded. If the arena had a smoke alarm, they would have had to finish the fourth quarter in the parking lot. Let's be real, this wasn't your average sports beef. This wasn't two elite athletes pushing each other to greatness. This wasn't playful banter. This was raw, unfiltered tension with a sprinkle of hope your laces snap mid-crossover. The glare Angel shot at Caitlin could have melted steel. And the vibe she brought? It made Godzilla vs. Kong look like a cozy tea party hosted by Mr. Rogers. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe my channel for more awesome content. Thanks.
We need to talk about the hard foul. Caitlin Clark fouls Angel Reese while going up for a layup. People are making a big deal out of this, and me, I'm looking at it like, look, it was just a hard foul. I don't even think it was flagrant. The only thing that was flagrant was Angel Reese's response, right? How she responded to the hard foul. And obviously you can see there's still a little hate. There's still a little hate out there, but I'm gonna say this. WNBA, lean in on this. Lean in on it.
But here's the real twist. Reese didn't just throw daggers with her eyes from across the court. Nope. She marched straight toward Caitlin like she was trying out for Survivor, Basketball Beef Edition. If body language had a volume knob, Angel's was cranked all the way up to "I got time today." You could practically hear the courtside commentators coughing on their popcorn in disbelief.
You saw in that play.
Basketball player, refs got it right. Move on.
And Caitlin? Let's just say her face had that frozen "what is even happening right now" look, like someone who just got blindsided at a spelling bee. Because, truthfully, Caitlyn didn't do much, unless simply existing now counts as a personal attack. Sure, she committed a foul. But Angel reacted like Caitlyn had insulted her jump shot, her playlist, and her grandma, all in the same breath. Then came the benching. And not just any benching, the kind where the coach won't even make eye contact, like nope, not touching this. Go sit. The crowd's vibe flipped from hype to yikes in under 5 seconds. Angel didn't even argue, and that was the scariest part. She sat down with the kind of quiet, smoldering rage you see in people who've just been told they can't bring their own snacks into the movie theater. And then, the internet detonated. Twitter didn't just react, it erupted. Fans launched digital firestorms from every corner. Angel supporters were split between "she's just passionate" and "did we just witness a WWE promo?" Meanwhile, Caitlyn's fans were flooding the feed with memes faster than Angel hit the bench. The timeline looked less like a post-game discussion and more like a chaotic crossover between First Take and Maury.
Walk me through your perspective on the flagrant foul. What was the point you were trying to make to her?
It's just a good take foul, you know. If either Angel gets wide open 2 points, or we send him to the free throw line. Nothing malicious about it. It's just a take foul. Every basketball player knows that.
And Angel's response? Oh, buckle up. She didn't walk it back. She didn't soften the blow. She doubled down. With the grace of a freight train and all the delicacy of a jackhammer, Angel zeroed in on Caitlyn like it was open season. She made it crystal clear, this isn't just a rivalry, it's a full-scale vendetta. If there's a dartboard in her room, we all know who's on it. You could see it in her stance, in her glare, in the way she answered questions with the emotional force of a Category 5 hurricane. This wasn't about competitive spirit anymore. This was personal. If looks could foul, Caitlyn would have racked up 6 in a tech before tip-off. Now, let's talk consequences. The NCAA loves to preach sportsmanship and composure, but someone in their office was watching that clip on repeat like it was the teaser for their next PR crisis. You can't go nuclear mid-game, tear into another player on national TV, and expect a gold star and a sports drink. This isn't the 90s NBA. Reese is in deep, boiling, scalding water. Somewhere, right now, NCAA officials in khakis and chaos are probably forming a committee, frantically Googling how to discipline a star without tanking March Madness ratings.
No sugarcoating this. This is pure hate. Pure hatred for that white girl in India. Excuse me. I need to specify. Sorry. The one that wears 22 in Indiana.
Her coach? Oh, he looked like a man slowly realizing that managing Angel Reese might require a degree in conflict resolution and a side certification in elite babysitting. The post-game press conference had all the energy of someone nervously trying to explain their browser history to their spouse. Forced smiles, deep sighs, and the go-to classic, "We'll handle it internally." Translation? I have absolutely no clue what she's going to do next, and I'm low-key praying the league suspends her so I don't have to. Meanwhile, the fan base is spiraling. Half of them are yelling, "She's just passionate." The other half, Googling, "Can a player get ejected for side-eye?" And the rest? Oh, they are just here for the show, popcorn in hand, watching the WNBA morph into a reality series hosted by high-drama hoopers and high-tops. And let's be real, this wasn't Angel Reese's first emotional fireworks show. Not even close. She's been turning games into soap operas since her NCAA days. She doesn't just bring passion, she plays like someone hacked her diary and projected it on the Jumbotron. But last night? That was another level. That was Defcon 1 with a ponytail. That was flip the table, Royal Rumble energy in a league that technically has refs and rules. She was storming the court like someone had spoiled the finale of her favorite show. And no, this wasn't just competitive fire, this was full-blown cartoon villain theatrics. If she had whipped out a steel chair, no one would have batted an eye. The only thing missing? A theme song and a fog machine. Which, honestly, feels overdue.
You like the way your players responded there, just to that moment? It looked like somebody was coming over, talking with Angel, hoping to have a song with her, to calm her down, make sure they didn't escalate any further.
Yeah, I think that it's a little misrepresentation to calm her down. I think emotions were high on both sides, and so I think Angel reacted in a way that any of us would react in a moment like that.
Because while Angel was glued to the bench, Caitlyn was out there draining shots like nothing around her was on fire. That's right, while one star unraveled. the other kept rising. Somewhere, you could practically hear Nike XX scrambling to revise their ad scripts. Maybe dial back the grit and lean into grace under pressure instead. Meanwhile, the sports world, fully spiraling. Analysts are melting down with takes flying in every direction. Is Angel Reese now a liability? Is Caitlin Clark the only adult in the room? Should we be hiring therapists for locker room support? Half the commentary sounds like NBA conspiracy theories. The other half, straight out of a bad ESPN drama nobody asked for. And you just know the behind-the-scenes chaos is absolute gold. Teammates walking on eggshells like it's a haunted house. Coaches typing out "we regret the incident" apologies like they are crafting breakup texts. PR teams deep in panic mode. Somewhere, a group chat is straight up on fire. But the biggest L of the night? That belongs to Angel. Because let's be honest, no matter how talented you are, no matter how many boards you grab or points you put up, if the highlight of your night is a meltdown on a bench, the internet's going to crown the memes as MVP. Every single time.
We saw Caitlin Clark become the fastest player in WNBA history to have 3 triple-doubles. Besides it getting a little bit spicy with her and Reese, what did you like that you saw from Clark?
Speaking of spicy, right? I think that was just a no free buckets foul. Now, it was a hard one, and I think the refs did their job, and I'm glad we could focus on the court. But Caitlin Clark, she came in this season as the MVP favorite for 2025, and even though it's one game, you can see that it may not just be all talk. She had a triple-double, as you mentioned, 20, 10, and 10. And you can see 2 things happening. Playing with vets like DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard, it allows her to not constantly be doubled or triple teamed or trapped.
Versus Clark, it went head-to-head. Let's check out it as we pick this up early in the second. Angel Reese, she's been working on that jumper, and it's good. Some respect on it. Sky down 3 under 10 left now. Clark finds her spot, and it's a green bean. CC beating the buzzer, and then check this out on the Sky bench. Angel Reese, like, man, come on, man. Y'all need to D up. How you gonna let her get that jump? A little shade. Fever up by 13 at the break. Third quarter. Watch Reese under the hoop here. After the miss, this is what everyone's talking about. She gets a rebound, and then Clark comes in with a hard foul. Reese has to be held back as Aaliyah Boston steps in.
And let's not kid ourselves. This isn't fading anytime soon. Angel's meltdown is now preserved in glorious 4K. It's on TikTok, on Twitter, probably in your uncle's group chat. Her face, mid-scream, mid-lunge, mid-chaos, is already being printed on t-shirts. It's destined to haunt highlight reels for years. Somewhere, the ESPN graphics team is probably working overtime trying to find a freeze frame where she doesn't look like she's summoning a demon fueled by pure rage. And Caitlin? She's probably off somewhere calmly sipping water, updating her LinkedIn with skilled in conflict de-escalation and certified in being disliked for no clear reason. You could tell by the way she didn't even glance at Angel. That wasn't shock. That was familiarity. This feud? It's been bubbling for months, maybe years, and last night, it finally boiled over like college ramen left too long on a hot plate. And the sad part? This all could have been avoided. This had the potential to be a classic. 2 elite athletes, both shining under the lights. Instead, we got a live-action soap opera with more smoke than strategy. Angel's fire could have lit up the scoreboard. Instead, it just torched her own bench.
Make sure that tensions didn't get too high after the play. Now with this play, they did call a flagrant 1 on Caitlin Clark. They said that it was unnecessary contact on the play, but I immediately knew, I was like, oh crap, this is gonna be something that goes viral. A bunch of people are gonna talk about it. People are going to make it into something bigger than it needs to be.
So now the big question is, what's next? Will she get suspended? Fined? Shipped off to a meditation retreat with Phil Jackson and a suitcase full of incense? Will the NCAA sweep it under the rug because, let's be honest, drama drives ratings? Or will they turn Angel into a cautionary tale for every young player who thinks playing with passion means going full Terminator during game time? Time will tell. But one thing is clear. Angel Reese might have the skills of a superstar, but last night she had the self-control of a YouTube comment thread. And that's not just bad for her, it's bad for the game. Because eventually, the noise has to stop, and the basketball has to take center stage again. Until then, enjoy the view from the bench. Angel, you've definitely earned it. And here's the kicker, the cruel irony, written loud and clear across the hardwood. Angel Reese, once the self-proclaimed ultimate competitor, the queen of trash talk, the unshakable force on the court, ended up talking herself right out of the game. It's like calling checkmate in a game of Connect 4. Now, her fans are scrambling like Reddit conspiracy theorists. She's just misunderstood. She's emotional. The media's spinning the story. Let's be honest, the media didn't spin anything. The cameras were rolling.
The Indiana Fever just played their first game against the Chicago Sky, and folks, it was not close. It was not close. I remember my timeline being flooded with people saying it was going to be a good dog fight. It was going to be a close game. It was going to come down to the wire. It was going to be a great one. No, it wasn't. It was a 40-point blowout. And it was a great game on one side. On the other side, it was a little questionable. But we got to see Caitlin Clark in full force.
The mics were live. The cameras were rolling. And every Hot Wing-fueled fan in America was watching. If this was just a misunderstanding, then so was the Titanic hitting an iceberg. And Angel? Her timing couldn't have been worse. The game was tight. Her team needed focus, leadership, a calm, steady hand. What they got instead was a one-woman Broadway show called Unhinged, the musical. Instead of stepping up as the clutch player she's known to be, Angel chose to be the ringleader of chaos. And maybe the only thing more disappointing than her outburst was the dead silence from the rest of her team. You could tell they weren't about to hop on that sinking emotional ship. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark? She could probably launch a political campaign today and win. After walking through Angel's emotional wildfire with the composure of a Buckingham Palace guard, she's basically untouchable. The contrast was impossible to ignore. Caitlin's cool, collected MVP vibe versus Angel's full-throttle meltdown. One looked like the face of a franchise. The other looked like a background actor in a high school drama production. And now comes the sting. The punishment? It's coming. Maybe it's a suspension. Maybe it's a permanent seat on the bench that lasts longer than her lashes. Maybe it's a painfully long sit-down with the NCAA's least fun compliance officer. But Angel's about to find out the hard way. Even stars can dim themselves out. Because this isn't just about one emotional eruption. It's about a pattern. And fans are catching on. The same crowd that chanted her name last season? They are now asking if she's becoming more of a liability than a leader.
Man, this was hilarious. Look, Angel Reese was pissed. Look at her. She was still going out there a little bit. Look, took the jersey out. What's going on? Look, and the thing is, I thought Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were cool. But I don't know, man. The way Angel got up, she was like, Look at her. Ooh. I mean, she was getting after it, fam.
But a lot of hate going on out there. And I mean, hate from Angel Reese fans onto both Indiana Fever fans and guys that just want to talk about sports like Robert Griffin III.
She had the perfect opportunity to elevate the game, to show young athletes what resilience looks like under pressure. Instead, she gave them a masterclass in how to waste a primetime moment on pure pettiness. And if she's not careful, this won't be a minor misstep. It'll be the headline of her legacy. So, welcome to the court of public opinion, Angel Reese. The verdict? Guilty of self-sabotage with a hefty dose of unnecessary drama. Enjoy the bench. While you're there, maybe take a moment to consider this. Passion without control isn't leadership. It's just a tantrum in high-end sneakers.